Arena is one of those systems in Raid Shadow Legends that most people just don't really want to be doing. It's difficult to get into and especially to climb, right? And there is so many different systems and avenues that you really need to be taken into account. Have a very strong single team, right? Like four champions, and you have the tag arena, then you have the live arena with the band system and stuff like that. It is pretty damn complex, but the rewards, if you actually build the champions for it and really take it seriously, are well worth it. So today we're going to be checking out why you should really be caring about Arena. Let's go. Before we do any of that, please go ahead and check out Aptoide. It's going to be allowing you to get massive bonuses whenever buying things in Raid Shadow Legends through Aptoide. So picture this, you're going to be buying this pack, and in return you're going to be getting a cashback that can go from extra 10% of any amount of money you're spending all the way up to extra 35%, right? So picture this, I would be getting this bonus if I buy this pack with my real money, and the good thing is that when I do have enough of the bonuses, I can go ahead and use them instead of my real money to do the payments for me, right? So we'll take more of a look at this at the end of the video. For now, let's keep going. So Arena, a ranked system, PvP, a lot of people do not like to engage into it. It's pretty damn complex, and there is a lot of very try-hard people here which are going to be ruining your day. Of course, we start off with the classic Arena where everybody's just going to be getting their crest over here, which we call actually gold medals, which are going to be a very important form of long-term progression, right? As you climb up all the way up through the ranks, ideally getting to gold as soon as possible, you are going to not only be getting those medals, which we will check out in a moment what you use them for, you're also of course going to be getting access to better gear that only comes from Arena, and you will want some of these pieces of gear, believe me, and then you will also be able to eventually be having access to higher tier shards as well as skill books and more gems from the weekly chests from ranking in the classic Arena system. If you want to join my team in Raid Shadow Legends, click the link in the description to get a free Narma as well as Anax, Uugo, and Mausoleum Mage as you progress through the game. Here's what you need to do. First of all, log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Then click the link in the description and register a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial, and then go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Don't miss out on your chance to get a fresh start in Raid with a free Narma and 3 epic champs. Click on my link right now. You do use those medals that we were talking about in the Great Hall, where you will be spending them to boost the base stats of the champions from the different affinities. Over here you will be able to see the breakdown of how much every upgrade is going to be costing. Every single one of these types of stats is going to be costing pretty much the same amount. Of course, the values and percentages are going to be depending on the stat you're getting. And it's always going to be a lot better to go and first get accuracy, right? Accuracy, it's an overall universally more needed stat than pretty much anything else. HP, attack, and defense are going to be necessary on very specific type of champions, depending on what they scale from, on what type of champion they are. Crit damage is going to be valuable mainly on attack champions. Outside of that, if it's a support or a defense champion, it's not that likely that the crit damage is going to be that important, especially if you're not scaling up the crit chance in the first place. And resistance, even though it does apply universally to all champions, it is not as valuable overall. It will be in PvP in particular, but in most avenues of PvE, unfortunately, it's not going to be, right? So this system in particular, the whole affinity bonuses does apply to the entire game, right? Now, you will of course be wanting to choose between the different affinities you want to be scaling based off of the champions that you really need to get upgraded, right? So let's say I wanted my Armiger to have a little bit more accuracy. That's why I got my level 4 accuracy buff over here, right? So I am already getting 20 accuracy off of this, and I just got it to level 4, right? Now, it is quite costly, as you can see right here, getting from level 2 to level 3. It's going to be taking 150 of the lower tier ones, right? So over here, for example, if I was going to be using the gold ones, it's a lot cheaper. That is why you want to be getting as soon as possible to a point where you're able to farm the gold tier in Classic Arena. The higher, the better, right? The higher you go on that tier as well, it's going to be netting you more medals per win. Classic Arena wins will also be dropping the Magic Steel, which is a resource which you will likely have a lot of, but believe me, there is a lot of reasons why you want to be having a lot of this, right? It's going to be costing you 50 to do a single 5 to 6 star craft, right? Depending on the type and the difficulty, it's going to be a lot higher or lower, but believe me, you will never be having enough of this, right? So there is situations where you want to be crafting a lot of even a lower tier set simply for the sake of transferring all that stuff, quick crafting that, and immediately selling it for silver, right? So no matter how much you have at the moment, you will eventually be running out of those, right? So you need to be kind of steadily doing some Classic Arena in order to keep those supplies up. That's another reason to go and focus on the Classic Arena. And suffice to say, there is also the daily quest to do 5 Classic Arena wins, which is going to be allowing you to get an energy refill, so you definitely want to be getting that done. Now, there is also the Tag Team Arena, and especially important for new players, right? You do not want to be neglecting the Tag Team Arena, even though it's quite annoying to get into, especially because, well, you need to be having quite a few champions, right, to set, or rather make up a roster that's able to compete, right? It is not an easy kind of game mode to actually get into. For example, just looking at this, I don't know if I can even beat anybody of these guys, like any single one of these. They have a lot of power, right? So if I go into it, you can see what my team composition looks like at the moment. A little bit of everything. At least I do have quite some level champions already assembled in my roster, so I don't have any trash stuff that's like not even leveled up and stuff like that, like level 1 or whatever. So we do have a decent composition, right? But yeah, difficult to get into, definitely not the most enjoyable one, because usually it takes very long to go through all those 3 battles. But it is well worth to do it, right? There is the bazaar over here, where daily you're going to be able to buy the champion fragments for Dregstar. Now, Dregstar Blood Twin is pretty much the best tank champion you can have for the Spider's Den, right? He's going to be applying the HP burns on the Spiderlings, on the boss. He's going to be pretty much immune to any poisons, as he stacks up resistance and defenses when people have HP burns that he applied. He is insane. I would be doing a guide on him, but I don't have him yet, right? It's going to be taking quite some days. In fact, you're only going to be able to buy 1 fragment per day, so that is 100 days of having enough of the gold bars over here, which you do farm from playing the Classic Arena, and you will also be getting a big boost of those once you do finish up the weekly season, whatever, right? Every week you're going to be able to get whatever or however many bars you're going to be getting as a reward for the tier you're into, right? So as you scale up, you're going to be able to eventually have a surplus of these bars if you are able to get into silver, ideally gold, of course, but that is extremely difficult, right? So like low silver, you would already be able to have enough gold bars to not just have enough gold bars to daily buy Dregstar, so you are able to have it in 100 days, which is the minimum you can do, and believe me, you do want this guy. You're also going to be able to eventually afford an Ancient Shard, right? You can buy, I think it's an Ancient Shard per day. I think it has a 24-hour cooldown as well. I have not bought any because I'm still just focusing on the champion fragments for Dregstar, but you would also eventually be able to buy Void Shards and Sacred Shards. You can buy a Sacred Shard per month if you are already at the point where you are able to farm 30,000 gold bars per month. It's not that crazy, believe me, once you are in like high silver, low gold. It does take quite a little while to get there, especially if you're not building champions for Arena. But it is well worth it simply for the cadence of the amount of resources you're going to be able to get out of the system. If you're able to count with a Sacred Shard per month, literally for free just for playing the game, that is already quite substantial to just put the effort into. There is also going to be an advanced quest for the Tag Team Arena, which is always going to be getting you 6 skis for the faction wars for every single faction that's active that day. Believe me, that is already quite a meaningful impact, right? Just for doing 5 Tag Arena battles, even if you lose them, you will be getting quite more resources from the faction wars, which in turn is going to be netting you with more materials to be crafting your perception and resilience gear. Perception gear you're going to be needing a lot of, believe me, it's extremely important for entry level early on gameplay or just straight up like early game accounts, and the resilience is going to be able to be sold in bulk just for the sake of crafting and selling for a lot of silver, right? So very substantial upgrade just if you participate a little bit into Tag Team Arena. And then we have the final beast, which you will be taking quite a little bit to unlock even. I think it's like level 50, where you're finally able to do some live arena, right? Live arena is quite fun, although it's long because you're gonna have to go through the picking period, right? So you're able to pick champions. I cannot show you at the moment, unfortunately it's not active, but you pick 5 champions. One of those is going to be banned by the enemy, and you will also be able to ban 1 from the enemy. And then you will also be able to pick one of the 4 remaining champions that you pick. One is going to be the Aura Carrier, right? And then you go into a battle where usually you will be playing manually, but you can also just auto the whole thing. Usually the enemy is going to be manually playing, right? So many times you're just waiting from turn 1, and then the enemy is like very slowly playing through the whole thing. It's quite slow, right? So that's why it's quite boring, but the rewards are well worth it. Just for doing the 5 daily arena wins, or not even wins, actually it's wins, yeah. You can already be getting some multi-battle attempts, not bad whatsoever to accumulate into your account. You're gonna need a lot of these ones, events like the ones we have right now for the fusion thing for the new champion. You will be needing a lot of these for like dungeon farming stuff, like just doing a lot of fire and doing a lot of ice golem, whatever. You're gonna need a lot of those. Then the energy is, of course, just energy. It's always gonna be nice. And finally, you do get a chest where there's a potential to get an actual legendary skill tome, which you can only get one a month, and the chances are gonna be pretty low, but there is a potential to get that. Of course, you can also get some other random stuff, as well as some artifacts, which I do believe they are from the kind that only drop from Live Arena, which is another set of tier sets, which is extremely valuable or very end game important, but it's going to be taking a little while to get to a point where you're dropping those pieces of gear in a decent tier, star level, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be 2 stars early on, right? So you don't really care about that. Now, there is also quite some seasonal rewards, and in general, you're going to be also getting some good stuff out of just ranking up, right? You can lose some points, I think, up to the point you are at. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be dropping below bronze 1. I don't even know if that is possible, honestly. But yeah, as soon as you are able to rank up a little bit, you will be getting some nice rewards, some shards. You also do get some champion shards for Chalco, I think is the guy, the name of the guy. It is going to be taking quite a little while to assemble a decent, you know, amount of rewards out of it. You get some energy, some XP, whatever, right? It is all right, but do not really count with all of this stuff because, well, you can only really fully fuse Chalco, the champion you get from this, once you get to 4,000 of these points, right? 4,000 rating in Live Arena. That is insane, right? I don't think this resets at all, right? That's like the general rewards you can always get. So pretty damn hard. Now, the important thing about the Live Arena is not just going to be the arena wins and stuff, which you also have a chest over here, which gives you the impulse set that I was talking about, which is extremely important for late game, as well as the seal set, which is not as great. But the impulse set is insane. It's gonna give you a speed and a chance to reduce the cooldown of one of your skills, right? So there's those two things at the same time. Very damn strong. You will also be getting the crests, right? This time around they're called the crests. And what do you use these crests for? So just like with the medals, you will be going to the Great Hall, and as soon as you get to level 50, you will be unlocking the area bonuses, right? Now, this system is going to be insanely hard to progress through, and the cost of every single one of these upgrades is also going to be quite nuts. So what you are able to do here is pretty much as with the affinity bonuses, increase your stats in specific pieces of content, right? So you have the Potion Keeps, the Faction Wars, the Ice Golem Peak, Fire Knight Castle, Dragon's Lair. Important to notice, there is the grade, right? The grade over here is going to be determining the cost of this upgrade. So increasing something from like grade 1 is going to be cheaper than if you increase something from grade 2 and so on and so forth. Then you will ask me, what is the highest grade? Grade 3, basically. Grade 3 is literally the end game of this game. You have Demon Lord, you have Hydra, Sand Devil, Phantom Shogun, Curse City, literally all the end game systems, right? And at this point, every single upgrade is going to be costing you 100 of these quests, right? So now you will also be wanting to get specific, stats, basically, depending on what you are going to be doing. Ideally, you're going to be going for accuracy, speed, and then probably whatever you're going to be wanting to scale based off of what champion you really need to put out there, right? So ideally, you will always be going for speed and accuracy. I did put some points on the spiders then because I was really kind of struggling over there, right? So that's what I did. But believe me, progressing through this whole system is going to be insanely difficult and slow, but it is another form of end game progression, right? Every time you're going to be doing whatever faction wars, I am going to be having already 8 more accuracy on all my champions, right? No matter the affinity at this point, right? So imagine you just go into this type of content, eventually at some point level 10 accuracy plus 80 accuracy for all my champions on the faction wars, right? You do need to be participating in this if you're taking your account seriously. It is quite sluggish, it is quite difficult to get into, and just tedious in general, but it is a must and a necessary thing that you want to be doing to your account. So that is all the reasons why you would want to be participating in all forms of arena content. Believe me, it is not easy to do so, and doing and upgrading champions just for PvP is quite tedious. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Before you go, as I mentioned before, go ahead and check it out, please, if you haven't done so yet. It's gonna be allowing you to get an extra 10% of your money back as a cashback when buying things in Raid Shadow Legends through Aptoide, all the way up to even a 35% extra cashback, right? So right now I do have, I don't know, about a 14%, 13% bonus, and I will be getting this back into my wallet, which I'll show you in a moment, in the form of a cashback when I do buy this pack with my own money. The cool thing, as I already mentioned before, is that you can also get stuff and actually buy stuff using these bonuses, right? That's why we care about the bonus amount, because the more bonus we have, the more things we can afford, and we're not actually using our real money when buying these things with the bonuses. We are using the bonuses we already accumulated back in the past through previous purchases, right? So over here I do have my wallet where you can see the current amount of bonus that I have unlocked, as well as my purchase history, and you're also going to be able to input my promo code, which is going to be somewhere up here in the screen, to unlock an extra 5% bonus from the get-go in raid Shadow Legends through Aptoide literally forever, right? There's gonna also be a guide somewhere down there in the description that is going to be taking you to a video where I explain how to set the whole thing up on your Android devices, like an Android emulator like BlueStacks, or your Android phone. Unfortunately, it does not work on iOS. If you got any questions about this whole thing, let me know down below in the comment section, and I really hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. See ya.